Behind the camera flashes, the glittering stage, and the endless applause of the audience, there was one silent moment that made the hearts of thousands of fans stop beating one seemingly simple second, but loaded with meaning. Wang Yibo, the cold man who always seemed calm and collected, suddenly turned off his camera. And what happened after that? A hug. But not just any hug. It was a hug from Xiao Zhan. Warm. Full of emotion. And for a moment, the world seemed to freeze. This moment was not just an interaction between two celebrities. It's a story of two souls that continue to be linked amongst rumors, hearsay, and feelings that cannot be put into words. A moment that left many asking, "Are you sure this is just a friendship?" A source from a staff working behind the scenes of one of their latest projects mentioned that after a grueling shooting session, Yibo seemed very tired and withdrew for a while. He turned off his camera, took off his earphones, and stayed in the corner of the room. But the next second, Xiao Zhan came over, wordlessly, unceremoniously, and hugged him from behind. The embrace was not captured by any professional camera, but eyewitnesses described Yibo as not resisting. Instead, he was silent, looked down, and let the warmth flow. Xiao Zhan's hands clasped his body tightly, as if to say, "You are not alone. I'm here." And this is what made many fans explode with emotion on social media. For those who have been following the dynamics of their relationship over the years, this moment was not a surprise. It was more like a confirmation of feelings that had only been implied. As public figures, both of them are very good at behaving in front of the camera. But for observant fans, it's the behind-the-scenes moments when the cameras are off that mirror a more honest reality. That's where they show their true expressions, the body language that can't be hidden, and the closeness that can't be disguised. This isn't the first time Yibo has turned off the camera before showing Xiao Zhan his most tender side. At previous events, fans have often picked up on subtle cues, gazes that linger too long, small smiles that appear just for each other, or the way they look for each other in a crowd. And now, the hug was the climax of all those little hints. If there was one thing that made their relationship so confusing yet alluring, it was the seductive ambiguity. The two have never explicitly stated anything more than friendship, but their interactions leave a deep emotional imprint on anyone who witnesses them. Fans even have their own term, YiZhan real. They believe that there is more to them than just a professional collaboration or a casual friendship. And the invisible evidence keeps on emerging from interlinked social media posts to small gestures like fixing each other's clothes or silently staring at each other while the other is talking. And now, with that warm embrace, many feel they have crossed that invisible line, that their relationship has entered a realm that only two understanding hearts can understand. Even their closest coworkers have inadvertently hinted that their relationship transcends professional boundaries. In a casual interview, one of the stylists who had worked with them mentioned that Yibo and Xiao Zhan always asked to be in the same dressing room, even when they could have chosen separate places. They never asked directly, but we know. They are more comfortable together, says the stylist with a mysterious smile. Little things like that, which may seem insignificant to outsiders, are silent proof that their intimacy grows in quiet spaces, away from the lens. There's also an interesting story from a scene director who admitted to having to ask Yibo and Xiao Zhan to tone down their chemistry while filming. When we were shooting a scene that was supposed to be neutral, their expressions and gazes were too deep, too real. Even the crew became awkward because it felt like we were intruding on a private moment, he said. That statement makes fans even more certain. Not only did they notice the invisible bond, but the people who worked directly with them also felt it. And not to be overlooked is the way they stand up for each other, even when the storm of controversy comes. When Xiao Zhan was facing public pressure due to an unintentional scandal, Wang Yibo was one of the few celebrities who kept mentioning his name publicly and favoring content related to him. In showbiz, isn't that kind of loyalty the purest form of love? When the world moves away, he stays. When everyone else is silent, he still shows support, even if it's quietly. And from there, we understand that there's a something that can't be explained but is so clearly felt. One hug may not mean much to some people, but in a stressful world like the entertainment industry, where every gesture can make headlines, that hug is a statement. That despite everything they've been through, dramas, controversies, project cancellations, fan pressure, they still choose to be there for each other. The usually cold and introverted Wang Yibo allowed herself to be vulnerable in Xiao Zhan's presence. And Xiao Zhan, with his characteristic gentleness, comes through not with sweet words, but with loving actions. Isn't that what true love is? It's not always talked about, but it's felt. Not always announced, but real. Maybe it isn't. And maybe it doesn't need to be. Because for many people, the truth doesn't have to be announced through press releases or exclusive interviews. Sometimes a hug done without cameras, without a script, and without sound is more honest than anything they could ever say. The answer lies in the way Xiao Zhan hugged Wang Yibo, in the way Yibo turns off his camera before allowing himself to be hugged, in the silence that is louder than a cry of love. They may never have said it, but the world knows. The heart has felt it. And that hug was the answer.